Hello. Hello. Oh, I see the chat's kicked off without me. Hi, guys. Welcome to Sunday Night Live. I was hoping to have this guy finished before I came on, but missing a few tentacles. Plus, the eyes don't look right. And we have to redo some of them, but yeah. Hello. Yeah, definitely, even seen in the camera, this does not look right, does it? Something's gone wrong here. Having a snack and then some scrunchies. Snacks first, definitely snacks first. The other half has just gone out to get snacks for us. So I'm pleased about that. Pleased about that. Hello. Yeah, we're just in time for the live. Perfect. What snack? Yeah, fair dues. What snacks are you getting? I've requested chocolate buttons. We'll see. We'll see what arrives. Hi, Karen. How is everybody? Everyone crafting or just chilling tonight? Tell you, I really, really want to chill, but I also need to crochet. So hence the live. Lasagna. No, not snack food, but still good food. I do like lasagna. This is a terrible project to be live with. It involves far too much counting. Hi, Punky Fish. Hi, Tiana. Hello, everybody. So I got counted 21. Sorry. 4, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Yeah. I'm determined to finish this guy. So, yeah. You're knitting a rainbow jumper. 13 balls of wood. What? Yeah, what were you thinking? Yeah. I have worked with that many at once before. I was doing a rainbow mandala type thing and it never got finished. So, yeah, I don't work with that many balls of yarn. Oh, too much counting, man. Really. 4. Hello. Yes, I'm doing okay. We have had a very busy weekend. Very little crochet got done. We are painting our kitchen. Well, we didn't realize we had to paint the kitchen. Didn't realize it wasn't included in the quote. It was a bit of a surprise on Thursday. And yeah, my cupboards are all being put together tomorrow. So we had to emergency paint this weekend. 5. Yeah, not my favorite pastime in this heat as well. But it looks amazing. I'm really, really pleased with how it's turned out and it's done. So that's the key thing. You've just finished writing a pattern and now you don't want to do anything. Oh, what's the pattern? Will you tell us? 10. You just woke up late, 11 a.m. So coffee. I don't remember the last time I slept in till 11 o'clock. No, I was up at 5 this morning. Sorry, in a minute I will pick something with less counting. No, I was up at 5 this morning. I did a boot fair and then came home and did the last few coats of paint on the walls. And I'm now sitting down with your lovely selves. Making a giant granny square. How giant are we talking? Is it like just one big granny square kind of blanket? Or are you going to try and like join it up to other giant granny squares? You're currently camping, sat by your tent knitting. Oh, I love that. That's really cute. And you're joining us live. So thank you. Oh, hang on. I always do my first chain too tight and then can never get back into it. I haven't been camping for a while. We tend to do static caravans at the moment because we don't have the kit for camping. We don't have the space to store the kit for camping. So tend to do static caravans, which is still really fun. not quite my version of camping. I like wild camping with no facilities. I just think it's really nice and quiet and peaceful, except for the kids. 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Hello. You hurt your hand nearly 3 weeks ago, and to top it off, you nearly lost. Oh, I'm really sorry. He's got a flail. Oh. Flails are nasty. Is he in pain? Has he got painkillers? That's the key thing with flails. You painkillers, and lots of them. 4, 5. Sorry here. Yeah, I am sorry, Sharon. That's nasty. It's just a simple beginner-friendly headband, but the pattern writing does take ages. Hence why my patterns are not on paper properly yet. They will be. They're on paper for the kits, but they're not on paper for a pattern I would be willing to sell. So it's still in progress. I still have 2 weeks off, and hopefully we'll get it done during that time. It's just one thing after another at the moment. It's crazy. I think that's just life, isn't it? You did my exercises video, and a few you hadn't done before. Well, that's really good. I did it this week because, why did I do it? Lots of reasons. I was in a lot of pain this week, so I was doing some exercises, and I've been asked quite a few times about exercises to do. And I always struggle with that fine line between it being social media, YouTube kind of thing, and then actual medical advice. Because there is a very fine line there. But I think general exercises are good for most people. You see the crochet. There we go. So yeah, I did that. It hasn't been my best video, but I'm hoping it will be helpful. And the comments I've received, I'm really pleased with. So it's helped some people, and that's all I can really hope for. But yeah, I do quite a lot of exercises. I have a lot of issues with my wrists and my thumbs. I have double jointed thumbs, or like hypermobile thumbs. And as a consequence, I have early arthritis in both my thumbs. So crochet is not the best thing for them. So I do a lot of this one to stretch this guy out. But yeah, if any of you haven't seen that video and you're having any pains in sort of your neck, your shoulders, elbows, forearms, wrists, fingers, it's got some good stretches on there just to help you out a little bit. So far you've used 1 full ball of Karen 1 pound yarn and around 1/4 of another ball and 1/3 weighting. They're big skeins of yarn. Big skeins of yarn. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, gold. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. There we go. Your husband is autistic, so you go camping in the static caravan too. You can't cope without a private shower. I am okay without a private shower. I sometimes struggle with the static caravan showers. They're just so tiny. Can't really get a good, I don't know, stretch in the shower. I don't know. I always hit the walls in the static caravan showers. I lack a bit of space. But yeah, this static caravans are great, especially with the kids. It's an easy holiday. They're cheap as chips most of the time. So yeah, good holiday. I hope you enjoy the rest of your holiday. 5. I think that's 5. I don't want to. Your walking miracle. So you could easily lose your life back home resting. To trying a little crochet. Yeah. Well, I hope he recovers really, really soon. Just take it easy. That's a big injury to have. Aloha. Hello. You're going to try and do some scrunchies. I have not had time to restock scrunchies. We have an event next weekend and we're out of a lot of the little plushies. So what am I doing? I'm not making little plushies. I am going to make loads of little ones. Yeah, this week is also a busy week, so it'll be what it'll be, and we'll have what we have. And yeah, that's the best I can hope for, really. The next event is going to be a small one. It's our smallest event of the year. It's a little local event. I've never been before. It's like a little county type fair, country park fair thing. So yeah, we shall see what it's like. What colour? I need to debate on using up some small skeins or pulling out one big new ball. That's a hard one. I've gone for this. I'd like to get this out the stash. It's a good colour. It's just scraggy. It's driving me, and I can't be bothered to wind it. So I'm going to use it up. I'm going to make this, which is a drift octopus by the Crochet Carpenter. And then we're going to do a turtle shell and probably some whale tops. And we're going to finish off this scheme first. There we go. Hello from Chicago. Hello. 32 rounds so far. Use up the small ones, then use a nice fresh one. I mean, that is the logical thing to do. But we all know that we're not logical people. Did anyone get yarn from Aldi? No, I haven't had a chance to go to Aldi today. I was curious about their sparkly, is it a sparkly acrylic that's out now? I still have a little bit of Aldi yarn, I think, from the last time they had their yarn event. For those of you not in the UK, Aldi is like a cheapy supermarket, which is awesome. And they do a yarn event every 4 to 6 months or something, where they sell yarn super cheap, but they only have like specific yarns, not sort of your generic brands and things. So you're thinking of doing small, so you have purple, aqua, yellow. How about doing one of each? Do one of each color while I abuse this poor octopus. Okay. I do love this pattern. I've not made it in this color before, but I thought, why not? This color is Neon Mix. It's kind of a good name for it, really. The other half is back with the snacks. All right. Sorry I didn't go live last weekend. I had tonsillitis, so talking wasn't ideal, and I felt awful. It's not. Wouldn't have been an entertaining live. Wouldn't have felt like chatting. Ooh, may I have another drink, please?
Yes, this is really cold.
Thank you very much. Oh. Hello. Are you aware you've left the fridge open?
I'm putting your vacuum.
Checking. Our kitchen is currently in our lounge because the kitchen's being done. I can't wait until my kitchen is done. Has anyone ever had their kitchen done?
If you haven't done,
Don't do it. So big upheaval. Those are the only ones who make 2 scrunchies, so you do both in-house. Some schemes that make 4 to 5. The burnout velvet skeins. I'm not sure how many scrunchies I get out of one skein of burnout velvet. I really should test that at some point. But I always lose the will to live about 5 scrunchies in. So I never get much further than that. Okay. Oh. One. You right? The other half has sat down. You get 13 to 17. I have no idea how many I get. Not a Scooby-Doo, but I have all of that new yarn. I'm very excited. I've started working through some of it. Started on the burlap blanket and used up the scrubby yarn and made some like scrubby dish things. I don't know what they're called. They're not. Well, someone told me in the comments that they weren't dishcloths because a cloth would be like a cottony kind of color. These are like, the only thing I can think of is scrubby. Like scrubby things. Right. Should we fix these eyes because something happened? I'm just going to cut them and start again. Crushed velvet, you get 13 to 15 solid. Are they different lengths then, the crushed velvet and the regular velvet? Should I cut it or should I just try and overlap it? I'll try and overlap it. Get 7 to 8 out of the Temu chenille wool. Ooh, is the Temu chenille any good? I have never bought yarn from Temu. Love to, but just never have. Okay. Trying to figure out which eye is the problem, but they both look like the problem. He doesn't look happy. You check when you get up. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think I've ever really looked. Right. Okay, let's fix this guy. It's not easy to do in retrospect. Yes, as you keep buying it. You get 4 scrunchies from Woolen Bunny Baby or Jelly Baby Chenille. I have used Jelly Baby Chenille, and that is what I use for the glitter scrunchies. But I still think it's a bit thick, but the other half disagrees, and hence we still have some colours in it. Maybe it's just the way I do them. Why do you look angry? Now, if I pull that there, and I just need to widen. Sewing with tentacles, man. Wow. Right, let's go. Oh, hello, Echo. The dog has joined. She gets a bit camera shy. You want to say hi? If you say hi, your mother's going to be in the shot. You ready? Say hello. This is the bear. Oh, scratches. Not angry, just has attitude. I like that. I like that. Use 6mm for your scrunchies with Jelly Baby. I use a 5. But 5 is just my favorite, my go-to. Maybe I should go up a size. The last few I've made have turned out nicer than the previous ones. The first ones I made with it, I look back at, and I didn't like them very much. We sell them fairly cheaply. They're not an expensive item. It's sort of a draw you in kind of item for the younger kids, specifically the sort of preteen girls. Really, really like the scrunchies. In fact, they're probably the biggest buyers of said scrunchies. Right, I think I've cracked it. Let's have a look. Oh, lost my needle. Oh, there's a reason I put the eyes on before I stuff it nowadays. Has anyone got any events that they've done or have coming up? Okay. I don't think I'm ever going to be happy with this guy's eyes, but I think that's a bit better than it was. Your co-workers are your biggest buyers of your scrunchies. My co-workers don't know that I crochet. Yeah, I try and keep it as quiet as possible. They don't need to know what I do on the side. But I'm currently unemployed, which is an interesting concept. I'm between jobs. So I finished my training program and my new job starts in the middle of August. So yeah, very excited. New chapter, new place, somewhere I've not worked before in a new role. Very excited. Right. Once I've curled up his tentacles, he is done. I love these guys. We've got a fair few coming with us to our next market, and it's the first time I'm going to be selling them. Very excited. Right, can you get off the yarn, Echo? She loves to sit on the yarn. That's why I got a dog that doesn't molt. Right, should we do a turtle shell? Because I think this would look great as a turtle. Sadly, no markets. Good luck on the new job. Thank you very much. Getting ready for an event in October. That is some early prep. So I never stopped crocheting, to be fair. But I haven't been like full on going all out prepping for this next one. Kind of just hoping that I've got enough of stuff for it, really. I don't predict that it's going to be big money. Do you know how much we paid for it?
90 quid.
Paid about £90. And we've got a double pitch. So, you know, I don't think we'll take more than 500. I think would be unlikely. But we'll see. Let's see what happens. They've advertised it quite well, and apparently it was a good event last year, and they're hoping to make it bigger. So we shall see. It will be a 2-day event, and we're doing it with the kids, which is going to be fun. Yeah, 2 small ones behind the stall for 2 days. So we'll see how that goes. Gonna grab your yarn. Please do. I've got a fair amount here. I have a selection. What would happen if my co-workers found my channel? Probably not much. Might get the mick taken out of me a little bit. It was the main thing that stopped me from creating this channel for well over a year. I wanted to do this for ages and was really nervous that if people found out from work that they would take the mick. And I watched something somewhere that was basically like, no one cares. You put a video out there and no one cares. No one responds and barely anyone watches. And then you put another video out there and still no one really cares. And then when people do start to care, they're the people that matter. So I was just like, actually, that's a really lovely way of thinking about it. And sure enough, I put my first video out there and I got like, 10 views. And I think 2 of them were me and my other half. And then I put another one out and that also got a few views. And then I paused for months and filmed a couple of videos, but never edited them to put them out. And then eventually in March, I think it was mid-March, I just took the leap and edited the scrunchy video I made in January, published it in March, and it did really well. And then the channel just started growing. So, yeah, I really like it. And now I have people that do care, which is sweet. What would I do? You feel the same, but you think it's so true. No one really cares at the end of the day. No, they don't. No one cares. And that is a good thing. It sounds really weird. No one cares. But actually, it's true and it's great. And once you accept that, it's, yeah. I mean, we're nearly at 2,000 subscribers now. quite excited about that. I want to get to 5,000 by the end of the year. That's my goal. That's my secret goal that no one knows about. We'll see. We'll see. My aim is to keep going with one video a week. I'm doing my best. It's not as easy as you think. Your videos are my favorite. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. That's really sweet. It's lovely to hear because I do try really hard. And then you watch it and you've edited it and you've watched it so many times. You're like, oh my God, this is so boring. But I've probably seen it like 20 times in one day. And then it goes out and it either does really well, does okay, doesn't do well, and then you move on to the next one. And it spurs me on to do different things as well. So in one of the videos I'm filming at the moment, I am trying different yarns with the same pattern. So that's been good fun. And it's probably the reason I haven't done many plushies recently. And then there's a few other ideas that I've got that I just need the time to do. I'm really excited to start those projects. So I'm going to film them and take you through it with me. And yeah, it's just not incentive. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Like a push. Motivation. Yeah, you're not listening. Love having you on YouTube. Makes me smile. Excellent. I'm pleased I can make you smile. That's the goal. That's the best thing I can do. You care all the way from Brazil. See, this is lovely. You find your people. I hope you're well and enjoying your time off work. Yeah, I am enjoying it, but I haven't stopped yet. Need to learn to stop and slow down, but that just doesn't really happen in my life. So yeah, thanks for that. Just for the record, she says I haven't stopped in the 8 years she's known me. I don't know how to stop. I think if I stopped, I would probably expire. So I just don't stop. Yeah, so I am enjoying my time off work. I'm getting things done. I have a to-do list that's about 8 pages long. And we're working our way through it. Spending time with the kids and decorating. And loads of markets because we've got this market this weekend. Then I have 3 weekends off. Yeah, not off. I think 3 weekends in between, and one of them I'm working, I think. And then we're doing 3 other events back to back. So yeah, 3 big events as well. So I've got my work cut out for me with regards to market prep. So there might be some market prep videos coming up, just for the record. I'm losing count again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where did I get to? You watched all my videos. You watched the scrunchies one first. And then, yeah, the scrunchies one brought a lot of people in, which is lovely. And I am giving myself a rematch soon. I am doing a shorter video because 7 days made me want to throw every scrunchie out of the window. But yeah, I'm going to do a shorter scrunchie challenge because I do need to restock my scrunchies. But yeah, there will be more scrunchies. Nice you made the live. Hello. Just noticed that you got unsubscribed. What? I do find it funny when I look at my YouTube studio and then you've got a certain amount and then you look another time and there's one less. You're like, who did I annoy? Who did I annoy? But yeah, it was entertaining. Hello from California. Excited. Catching a live. Yeah, sorry, I am in a very different time zone. I don't work well late at night. I find this is the sweet spot because you get the British people a little bit later. The Europeans are a bit later than that, but the Americans are and the Canadians are middle of the day. So, we're getting there. You saw the stall at UKG. Later you found my channel. Oh, fabulous. Oh, I'm pleased you saw the stall. We love that event. And as soon as the applications open up again, we will be applying for next year. Fingers crossed we get back in, because it's just a really good event. It costs a lot of money to do, and it's a lot of effort and it's exhausting, but we've done it for 3 years now, and unless they don't let us back in, we're still doing it. So hey, evening. You love the videos, shorts and lives. I haven't done many shorts recently. I need to probably have a look at that, but I'm liking making the long form content rather than the shorts. So bit of experimentation. Has my weather cooled down? No, the weather has not cooled down. It's gone back up again. It was what, 30, 31 today? And it's supposed to be the same tomorrow. And then hopefully it goes down into the high 20s. Down into the high 20s. I live in England. We're supposed to be cold. Yeah, I don't do well with the extremes of temperature. Although it is an excuse to get the cute dresses out, though. So you win some, you lose some. Hello, happy Sunday. You're back. The answer is no. Crushed velvet and regular velvet have the same amount of yards, so you're not sure why you get less out of crushed. Do you do more single crochets? I don't know. Hi from Canada. First time catching my live. Hello. Love the videos. Thank you very much. I like making them. Do most vloggers do one day challenge? Oh, you do, like most vloggers do a one day challenge. That's the plan for scrunchies. The problem with me in a one day challenge is my day is very structured around my kids. So it's very hard to get a whole day to just crochet. Yeah, it's just not easy. It's possible, and we have talked about it, and there will be some one day challenges coming up because I need to film some content in preparation for when I start my new job, because I don't really want to be filming in the first sort of 4 weeks of my job. So I'm pre-making some videos so that hopefully we still have one coming out every week. But I'm pre-prepping them in my time off to try and avoid breaks. And I will still try and do lives, I think, because there's not much sort of pre-prep for that. Depends on how tired I am, because I've got a bit of a commute to this one. Okay, officially starting the 24-hour stopwatch for the scrunchie challenge. Oh, no, I don't know when I'm going to get to that one to catch you up. I will look to see when I can start. Sunday Lives has become your favourites because it's a lovely community. No, it's not overly busy, and I try and acknowledge everyone to the best of my ability. It does get busier, and I am a few chats behind, but I get there. I'm just going to tighten up my magic circle. She says. Right. Okay. Seems that the YouTube does it by itself because you never did. So it just decided that you weren't allowed to subscribe to me anymore. There you go then. You got banned for some reason. I've inspired you to make crochet videos. Do it. I would love to watch more crochet videos. Show me what you got. I watch a lot of crochet, but I have to fight for the TV. So increase 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1 more. Yeah, I have to fight for the TV remote. So I am the only one that likes the crochet content in this house. She's not denying it. Although she does let me have the lounge at the moment to do my lives because the yarn room is absolutely boiling. I will hopefully be going back into the yarn room to do my lives when it cools down a bit, because at the moment it's so hot and I don't have a blind yet. I'm hoping if I get a blind, it will cool down a little bit. And I can't have the window open really because there's so much noise from our road because it's so busy. I can't really have a fan on because then you'll have the fan in the background. So this is the best compromise at the moment. I have asked if I can create a yarn wall back here. The answer was a firm no. She hasn't changed her mind. To be fair, she's given me an entire room in the house to put yarn in, so I can't really complain about that. But I'm thinking maybe like a crochet blanket. Could give it a go. But Echo, you're making noises. Yeah, I'm thinking a crochet blanket, but I wouldn't know. I don't know what pattern to do. There's loads of patterns, and I've looked into a fair few, but I need one that takes my fancy. I would love to work with Burnout Blanket Big, like the really thick blanket yarn, but it's expensive. Yeah, and I'd need quite a few balls to make one blanket to go behind me. So we'll see. We'll see. We can find some money to buy some cool yarn, then maybe. You don't really watch short form. I do watch quite a lot of short form, but I also watch some long form as well. I don't think I did try doing shorts thinking it would be easier. And then when I did make long form content that worked, it's much nicer engagement. So I prefer putting my effort into the long form content because I'm not trying to advertise the business or anything like that yet. So there's no need for me to do shorts. I might try at some point. I had a collaboration offer, my first like collaboration offer. I don't know if I'm going to take it or not though. It's frustrating because the product does look really good, but I don't know if I want to do that on this channel yet. It's not something I'm sure about yet. Thank goodness for the lower temperatures. Yeah, lucky you. Although I know the Americans probably have it much hotter than we do, but us Brits are not used to this weather. This is not good for us. We are very hot in very well insulated houses, and I live in a terrace as well, so there's like so much insulation. It's unreal. Lovely in the winter, but boiling in the summer. You like the long form content. I like long form content. It just keeps me busy while I'm crocheting. You just posted your first long form yesterday. Doing short form is just not your jam. You hear me on that one, yeah. How's your long form video going? You do 40 single crochet around every time. I never count on my scrunchies. I go around, give it a little bit of stretch, and then finish it off. And if it looks all right, great. Never really count, which is quite kind of like them because they're just like a mindless project, really. You said, I wonder how many burnout yarn scrunchies you can make. You should do that in a video challenge. Oh gosh, you want to watch me make the same color scrunchie over and over again? I'm not sure I'd want to make the same color scrunchie over and over again. I'd pick a good color though, to be fair. I would pick a good color. You just finished a granny square blanket for the sofa. So I could probably stretch to doing one granny square and doing like one big blanket. But if I started a granny square blanket, I would not finish it. Unless it was for a video. If it was a video, it might get finished. Because there's that like little bit of pressure. What do you think? Turtle. I love these. Do you reckon whale tops or another turtle shell? Another turtle shell? Yeah? Do another turtle shell.
I've got quite a lot of those.
Have I done these ones in whales? I don't think I've made any whales in this colour.
Oh, it might be the other neon bright one.
Yeah, I haven't made any whales in this colour. What do other people think? Should I do whales or turtles? I've got one turtle shell. It looks a lot brighter on the screen than it does in person. In person, it actually looks really nice. On the screen, it looks like mega bright. Oh, we got one turtle, one whale. You're voting turtle or whale?
No, I'm going to go whale.
You're voting whale. Oh, have we got any other votes? Turtle. do both. I don't know if I've ever got enough.
That was my thought.
I'll do a whale because I've got one turtle. I need to look up the pattern though. I don't know the pattern off by heart. Hang on. Let's have a look. I think it was a free one. All from Jade that I used. Whale crochet. There he is. So I use this pattern. Oh, no, good. It's all from Jade. It's no sew, and it's super cute. I'll screenshot that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Where did we get to? You just finished a granny square blanket for the sofa. I reckon it looks amazing. I've got so much acrylic yarn under the bed that I need to do something with, so I could do that. Take the leap and collab. I've been thinking about it. We'll see. They want some short form content as well, which again, as I said, is not my forte. I've gotten much more comfortable with long form. Head in your bedroom when it's hot. It's the coolest room in the house. Coolest room in this house.
There isn't one.
There isn't one. No. None of them are cool. They're all blooming boiling. There we go. It's hot. Not a lot of traffic yet on your first video. Well, don't worry. The first video I made like long form, got about 10 views, and it was my how many axolotls can I crochet in one day, and now it's up to like 700 and something views, and that all came purely when other people joined the channel later on, and then just, I'm assuming, just went back and watched videos. So they increase over time. Some videos do better than others initially, and I find it's those videos that bring people onto the channel. And then your other videos, which maybe didn't do quite as well, people do watch them and they still comment to this point. And I'm like, oh, I mean, back then I even used blanket yarn for my axolotls. I use chenille now, so it's all changed. I could probably make more axolotls in one day than I did back then. I can't even remember how many I made. Actually, that's a lie. I think I do remember. I'm not spoiling it, just in case you want to watch the video. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right. The advantage of shorts is to reuse them in other platforms. I know. I'm just not, believe it or not, I've never been big with social media. And then I decided to start a YouTube channel. Yeah, I'm not a Facebook poster. I'm not an Instagram poster. I'm not any of that really. So learning YouTube it was a bit alien to me. And I do this because I enjoy it rather than, trying to get all the socials out there and things like that. Blue Brilliance is probably the most popular scrunchy color that I have. And it's the first to run out every time. And what would you do? Both. I think you should do a blanket series. In what way? Do you mean like blanket yarn or making a blanket? I thought about doing a crochet along tutorial for a oh God, what's the word? Sampler blanket. So making like little sections and then having a sort of a 10 episode series where people can make the blanket with you, if that makes sense. Yeah, I thought about doing something like that. I don't know. We'll see. We will see. What about a chaos blanket? What's a chaos blanket? Is that just using random yarns? Rachel Riley Crochet did that. What, a chaos blanket? Or a blanket challenge? 2. Oh, back to counting again. The blanket series would be neat, but you get that they're big. You had a great time with the 6-day star. I've started many 6-day star blankets. I have finished none of them. How many chenille wool have been started for your scrunchies? You could finish off, count the labels you've used, and it will free up some space on the shelves. So many have been used. I can't even count. Actually, my yarn for scrunchies did go down dramatically, but it's recently increased quite significantly if you watched the video 2 weeks ago. You're up for that, my blanket? Yeah, I'd need to design it. 6 colors, 6 stitches. Oh, 6 colors, stitches, dice for rows. I see. So you throw 1 dice to tell the color, 1 dice to tell the stitch, and another dice to see how many rows you do of that combination. I think I've heard of that. Is it? So it's called a chaos blanket. That sounds like fun. That does sound like fun. Thank you, but you make like 1 row every day. I do like the sound of that. You do a sampler blanket challenge. Okay. Maybe we could make us a chaos blanket to go behind me for the lives. Challenge accepted. Problem is going to be, what on earth do I use yarn-wise? Although I am starting to collect some more yarn in a different brand, but I'm using it for another challenge and project that I'm doing. Right, 3. Hang on. Just revising this pattern. It's been a while. No, dice just for the rows, the colours and stitches in a bowl, and you pick 1 each day. Oh, so it's like a daily thing. I could maybe do it my way and do throw a dice for each. Why not? Right, chain, slip, single slip. Right. And acrylic. You said to get rid of my acrylic. A lot of my acrylic is like multicolored and variegated. So each row could look drastically different. Do 10. 3. 6. 7. 8. 9. There's something else that requires counting. Stash busting. I love the stash busting. The other half has asked for some space under the bed, which I don't think is unreasonable, considering I currently have yarn in the entirety of the Ottoman Super King bed that we have. Yeah, it's a problem. And it's hard to get to it as well. It's really hard to get to it. And I think that's why I haven't used much of it since I put it there. Maybe we'll go under and find as much like yarn in the same weight and do it that way. Although I've got some good colours. Oh, I don't know. I'm going to have to have a look. Gonna have to have a look. I'm making a tail. Starting the second chain. You do a half double, a single, and a slip, and then a slip in. Right, half double. The issue I think I have with Wales is I sometimes forget to do the second part of the fin. And when I say sometimes, I mean like a lot of the time. They end up with just 1 little flipper in their fin. So I must remember do 2. 2, 3, 4. This guy's kind of cute. I'm glad we did a whale. I'm not going to do the bottom of it though. I'll do the bottom another time. And there we go. Top to a little whale. It's quite sweet. I'm gonna make some more of them. Yeah. Do it as a live chaos blanket. I would not be able to get much done in 2 hours. That would take me a while. I could do like a chaos scarf. That would be quicker. Because you do like, if I made it a thinner one, maybe we could arrange a specific live where I'm not the only one that does the chaos scarf. We allocate, I roll the dice, everybody does it. Could work. Right. Let's sit him here. Today seems to be I think we need some decoration, don't we? Right. So we finished off this guy. We've got whips on this side. Okay. Oh. Looks like this is going to be a neon live. Okay. I'm going to do some more whales. He was fun. And we are getting low. I love getting low on yarn. Hi, you just joined. Hello, Emma. Good for you to join us. We're having a lot of fun with neon yarn and trying to discuss what kind of blanket to make to put behind me to decorate while my yarn room is far too hot to be in. Variegated would make it extra chaotic, but you get it out from under your bed and make your wife happy. She's fallen asleep. Don't tell her I did that. It's been a long day. We've done a lot of painting. Have I been to the Audi yarn event? No, I have not, for 2 reasons. One, we've been really busy because I think was it today that it started? And I shouldn't be buying any more yarn at the moment. Really shouldn't. The yarn I bought recently was yarn I used for the business. Aldi yarn I probably wouldn't be using for the business. It would be more pleasure and storage. I need to stash bust a bit before I do that. Plus, Aldi yarns I've had in the past, I haven't really used. I've used some for ear warmers, but I've got a lot of ear warmers. Like we have over 100 ear warmers at the moment, ready for winter, and I will probably still make more. We didn't do many winter events last year. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Because we planned to do one big one. So we did a Comic-Con at the end of November, which was supposed to be like really good. And we thought, well, I'm not going to have much else or much time to make other things. So we won't do any like little events, and just didn't plan it. We did our usual Christmas one. There's one we do every year. But because of that, the Comic-Con was a bust and didn't go very well. And then we didn't have any big markets anyway. So I've still got loads of ear warmers. This year, we're doing lots of light switch-ons and things is the goal. They do really well usually, but it's a lot of little events. So you take less, more work, but less financial investment, reach more people, you know. And it's Christmas. People love a little gift, you know. We do well. We do well. It's just a lot more work because it's a lot more days rather than just doing a couple of big events. But on the plus side, more content. People seem to like my the 2 market videos I've done, so I am going to make more. And have fun doing it. Yep, you'd be up for that to use up some of the stash. Bring the chaos. We'll just have to bring some dice. You bought way too much yarn at the Audi event. Or which ones did you buy? I had a little look at the catalogue, and there are a couple of videos that have gone up from a couple of crochets. I think Coastal Crochet's done one, and Amora has done one on the Audi yarns, which I will be checking out. Yeah, but the Audi yarn isn't necessarily for me. They tend to change a lot about their yarn, and they're not tested, so I can't use them for plushies. So it would be for wearables and blankets and things. And as we have discussed, I have far too much of that as it is. So yeah, the glitter ones are cute. I've seen pictures. It's the fluffy glitter yarn, and seems softer than last time. Well, that's good. I like soft. Let's reinforce this. You don't always watch market videos where plushies are sold because you don't make plushies, but you love mine. Oh, thank you. We are selling more and more variety. We're selling crochet kits now, and I started trying to sell my wearables, but wearables don't tend to do as well at markets is my problem. I've got some bags that I've made recently that if they don't sell this weekend, they'll be going on Etsy and things like that. But we shall see. We shall see. But Etsy take a big cut anyway, so it's not really profitable. I make them because I enjoy them, to be honest. So yeah, I just like making them. Passionate Kelsey's bag video that came out. She's been making that a while, and I've been desperate to try that. But it was somebody else's pattern, I believe. And then she edited everything about it. And what she made, I was like, I need that. I really want that. But there was no pattern. And then she brought out the tutorial, and I've been making a lot of bags. They're really cute. Very, very cute. And may or may not be featuring in one of my next videos. I don't know which video. Depends on what I get edited first. You make plushies sometimes as when your kids want them. I started making plushies. It's what somebody recommended if you have a short attention span. Rather than starting with like blankets and things, start with plushies and you finish them quickly. And then you're sort of spurred on to do more. And it worked for me. Plus, little plushies sell really well at markets, and I get to work with fun yarns, and I can still do wearables as well, so I can still make whatever I want, because this is my hobby. Someone commented on one of the market videos that our profits are not as high as we think they are. I was like, no, I'm very aware that our profits are not as high as we think they are from the market videos, because I don't charge for my time because I don't make any money from this. And my yarn costs are high. It's all factored into taxes at the end of the year. It's not that we don't count it. It's that it's just I can't be bothered to count it for the videos. So yes, we're very aware that the profit margins are not that of a thriving, flourishing, fantastic business, but it does the other half okay. She's happy. And this is my hobby. And if I charged for my time, then she would be in the minus figures. My exchange for my time is, can I buy different types of yarn and more expensive types of yarn, please, so I can play around with things. And that's how I get my reward out of it, basically. And then I get to try new hobbies like making YouTube videos. 1, 2, 3, 4. You need to try the octopurse. Hang on, pause. What's an octopurse? It is literally an octopus with the tentacle as the strap and the head as the back. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. It's on Ravelry. That's crazy. That's certainly an interesting bag. Oh god, what have I done? 1, 2, 3. What made me decide to start doing markets? It wasn't me. So the other half, when we had, hang on, I've done that wrong. When we had our little girl, and I was about to go back to work, we looked into the cost of childcare, which was before the free childcare hours. And we worked out that we would actually be worse off if she stayed working and we paid for childcare. So she was just like, well, I'll give up my job to do childcare. Obviously, I can't give up my job because it's the main income. And I was just like, okay, I don't mind that. But my issue is I grew up with a single parent who didn't have a job for quite a while because she was the main parent in the relationship. And then when she tried to go back to work, she had a big gap. My mum had a big gap in her employment history. And it was really hard for her to get back into work. And I am just like, you can't have a gap in your employment history. You need to do something. And so she was just like, I'm going to set up a business. And she'd always wanted to make jewelry. And I was just like, fine, but you can't just make jewelry. Everybody makes jewelry. You need to do something different. So she started making jewelry from upcycled board game pieces and like secondhand Lego pieces and turning it into earrings and key rings and things. And it kind of escalated from there. So she started doing the markets and then I helped her make some jewelry. And when we made everything for the stall, my hands had nothing to do. And that's when I taught myself to crochet. And then we ended up with all these soft toys around the house. Like I am talking hundreds of soft toys. And I was like, what do we do with these? And then we found out about all of the UK legislation with soft toys and the testing and things. So we did that and added them to her stall. And that is how we came to do markets. And it just never really stopped because I just kept making stuff. And it's a way of getting it out of the house because I do not want my kids having all of these soft toys. They've got so many stuffies as it is. It's crazy. And to be honest, my daughter's not really that interested in my stuff. I made her a snowman once. She don't care. She does not care. You want to make her new bag. She just named it the Hot Granny Summer Bag in her live yesterday. Excellent. I love that. I've made 5 so far. Yeah. Made 5 of those bags so far. I love them. Absolutely love them. But I've tried them in different yarns. So that's a sneaky like spoiler from my next like studio vlog. Trying different yarns and experimenting a little bit. But yeah, they're all going to come with me to the market this weekend and see what happens. If not, they're all going up on Etsy. But yeah, like I say, they don't do as well in person because of the price. They are more expensive, and that's just, it's the cost of the yarn. Like the amount of yarn that goes into them is a lot. So to make any profit at all, it's not easy. You make blankets as well as bags. Oh, I don't make many blankets. I think I've made about 3 in my crochet career. And they're for my niece, nephew, and for the baby that we lost. But we still have that blanket. And to be honest, I still need to weave in the ends. They're still not woven in. We've kept it. Do I have any tips on markets? You're selling at your first one in September. Oh, you know what? I am thinking of doing a market tips video because I have so many tips. And we went through them on a previous live. I can't remember which live it was, but there was so many tips that actually, they're not even coming into my brain right now. I have mushy brain. It's a technical term, I believe. But yes, I have loads of tips, and I am thinking of doing a video on market tips. So watch this space. I might do that sooner rather than later, actually. Right, you talked me into it, Emma. I'm doing a market tips video. There you go. 6, 7. If you're outside, the key thing, have weights on your gazebo. We've always had weights on our gazebo, but the first event we ever did, I spent the entire time hanging from the ceiling of the gazebo in crazy winds that ended up being actually illegal to have a gazebo up in. So they had to, well, they didn't call it halfway through, but they were very, very dodgy. And the gazebo just kept lifting up. I was like, right, well, this isn't going very well. But yeah, weights on the tents. But yeah, so I'm going to do a market tips video. There you go. If you can't find it, you'll link on the Etsy on Instagram. Different. What's different? I can't remember. I don't know where we were when we said that. Love making the bags. She made 2 mesh market bags priced at 35 Canadian and they won't move. Exactly. I had to reduce the prices of my bags quite significantly because they weren't selling. And they still haven't sold even at the reduced prices. They just don't sell. You made about 40 blankets. Oh, you have the patience of a saint. Can't do it. I think if I've got a specific person that's requested it, it's a bit different because I have like an eventual outcome that somebody's waiting for that product. But if that's not the case, then it just doesn't get finished. It's too big a project. Too big. But you know what? If I did it in a video as a challenge for behind me, because I would love something back here. That I could put up for the live and then take down so the other half doesn't moan at me. I've also got a quilt that might like the first ever quilt that I made. I found recently in a clear out that I thought we'd gotten rid of. So I'm really pleased we've kept it because I was really proud of that quilt. I did it in like a quilting class. I think I did a 6-week course on quilting. And it's a really cute quilt, but it's not crochet. Need something crochet related for lives. You've just kept your one at this point. Kept your mesh market bag. I love a tote bag. I am a bit of a, well, I can't say that, tote bag haul. Love a tote bag. Although I have big dreams for this channel. And the godmother that we lost recently, she was my biggest cheerleader. And she, when she found out I was doing a YouTube channel, she's like, oh my God, you need to do this and this and this and this. And you need to do merch and things like that. I was like, Lynn, I haven't even set up the account yet. Let's take this one step at a time. But I've had the best idea for my first ever piece of merch at some point in the very distant future. And it is a tote bag. But it's a cool idea. And if she was still here, God bless her. She was very good at painting and drawing. I cannot paint or draw to save my life. But yeah, I'm going to need a graphic designer for that. Making a waffle blanket. I have never made the waffle stitch. Never done it. Never tried it. Always wanted to. It looks like it'd be a bit of a yarn eater. Does it eat up yarn? What's it like? Hi, you liked and subscribed. Hello, Charlotte. Welcome to our little community here. We're very friendly. Or we try to be anyway. I'm counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Just realised it's really overexposed. I turn this off. Oh no. It's because we've got blankets in our windows at the moment because we don't have curtains. So it's a bit dark on this side, bright on this side, and it all goes a bit funny in the middle. You also crochet, but you're a beginner. Beginners are welcome. Everybody is a beginner at some point. And if you like plushies, check out my beginner tutorials as well. I will be making more. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. But yeah, everyone was a beginner once. And I've only been crocheting for 3 years now. Yeah, it's only been 3 years. 3 very, very long years. You're putting the granny blanket down and you're going to do a chaos blanket. You just need to decide on the chain length. Finish your granny blanket. She says, creating a pile of whips. I need to do something about my whips. I'm just not finishing things at the moment. I'm just never in the mood to finish anything. The only things that get finished are the things that you can't really leave. so that so this guy, that guy, for example, you kind of just have to finish it, otherwise you never get your yarn back. Whereas things that are done in pieces, you can do one piece and then finish it later. Classic. You're making a blanket for you, and oh, sweetheart, bless you. Try and keep ages out of the chat just for safety purposes, okay? You're more than welcome to join us and keep going with your blanket. Very much a yarn eater, very thick. Is that the waffle stitch? That's very thick. I like yarn eaters. We've got a lot of yarn to get through. But the thing is, I don't think blankets would sell at a market stall. I just don't think they would. Because I look at other people that sell blankets and they sell them so cheaply. It probably doesn't even cover the cost of their yarn. I can't do that. This is her business. I can't charge her X amount for yarn and say, well, if you want me to create something, I need this amount of yarn. And then she doesn't make it back on the product. She won't like that. Right. Another whale top. And I think that is all we're going to get out of this skein of yarn. That is the scraps. Yay! Another scraggy scrap out of the stash. Waffle stitch is easy and only a two-row pattern. I really need to try it. You finished 2 scrunchies and I have 24 minutes in them forward. But your eyes are starting to say they're too tired. And I get those days where you get to the point of, I really should go to bed now. But I'm not going to. Right. She's making noises. Should we use up some of this? I need pocket frogs. Should we make some little froggos? Should have enough here to make one, I hope. Maybe 2. Maybe 2 if I do the little ones. Let me get the right hook. Your husband is resting. Now you're going to go and check. Your father-in-law is okay. Oh, bless you. You're just caring for everyone at the moment, Sharon. Make sure you care for yourself as well. You're working on your Christmas blanket. A mitered granny square. That sounds cool. I'm going to have to look that up. Not done a mitered granny square. So I've seen crochet quilts that are made to look like quilted triangles. Has anyone seen those? I think they're pretty cool because you can make like different patterns. So it looks like a quilt, but it's actually a crochet quilt pattern. Waffle stitch works well for hot pads. Interesting. Never thought of making it for hot pads. Woo, 1 down. Yep, 1 down, 1 out of the stash. Although I do like that color, so I will probably buy more. This whole stash busting thing for me doesn't work with blanket yarn or chenille yarn. Need to get the acrylic out of the house. You're still only running on 1 hour of sleep in the last 31 hours. I've been there. It hurts. You need to get some sleep. But then you find yourself in a vicious cycle where if you sleep now, you then won't sleep tonight. And that is the problem. Just your mini nap before alive. You're making me tired. No, you can't go to bed at 3 p.m. You have to power through. You have to power through, otherwise you won't sleep tonight. So it's just that thing that Dory does, isn't it? Just keep crocheting, just keep crocheting. Make more stuff. Have you done any videos on how to get through the UKCA testing? Let's sell at local mass markets, but it hurts your bait. So I haven't done videos for a very specific reason. I feel like I say this every time on lives. I spoke to one of the admins a long time ago in the group that I'm a part of about UKCA testing. They don't like people making tutorial videos purely because it's almost a bit like Chinese whispers. you read the conformance pack, you interpret it in the most accurate way you possibly can. And then if you then explained it to somebody else, they then interpret what you say rather than what the conformance pack says. And it sort of things are at risk of getting changed or misinterpreted. So I completely see where they're coming from. I've been thinking about doing a testing video, as in just testing a product, but not doing all the specifics. So like all the measurements and things that you have to do, how you hold things, the way you do things. So for example, like the flammability testing, I check it every time I test, even though I've tested like probably over 100 products at this point. I can't even remember. We haven't labeled ours in a logical way. We've done it in a weird way, but over 100 things I've tested. But I still check every time I do a bout of testing exactly how high the flame needs to be, exactly how far away from the bottom of the plushie, exactly the distance away. It's all really, really specific. And I have thought about it, but I don't know if I want to do that yet. So that's the reason. Once you get your head around it, just break it down is all I would say. Break it down into each individual part and test and do it logically. And then once you've done it a few times, it kind of becomes like, oh, okay, cool. And you know, like at this point, I can tell you before I tested something, which bit's going to fail. So I will figure out a way to reinforce it before I test it, because I know that if I do it that way, it will fail, if that makes sense. So I know my yarns well enough. I know the certain stitches that have failed for me in the past. You just get to know your own plushies, your own yarns, what you work with and what's failed. That's the best advice, is literally just going through it bit by bit, and trying to do it as accurately as possible. Yeah, she made a couple of quilt light blankets, one with red granny squares and one with corner to corner. You got to pay a lot of attention. I pay very little attention. I like projects that I don't need to count. That's why these frogs are going to be good, because it's literally just go round, go round, go round some more, maybe do a few bubble stitches and then stuff. Yeah, that's fair. I know. The UKCA testing is a bit of a it's a contentious point, because it has to be done right. Yeah, because I have had trading standards come to my booth and they've seen my paperwork and passed with flying colors, and it's all great. I'm like, yes, thank you. So they do come to your booth, and I have seen people close down because of it, and it's hard. So knowing that I've done it right in the first place is a good thing. All the plushies that I made before I knew about the testing all got donated to various places, which you're not even supposed to do that. You're not even supposed to gift things that haven't been tested. It's crazy. So I gave them to my kids, and they still couldn't destroy them because they were well made. But most of my plushies, when they're going through the testing phases, get tested by two little tyrants in my house anyway. My son is very, very good at putting plushies through their paces. The favourite things he liked was the itty bitty snakes that I did. He grabbed a couple and then left with them. I'm like, oh, bye. And they had eyes in and everything. He tried to break them a lot. Okay, everything all out the way. Hi, Brad. Oh dear, stop yawning, Amy. Excuse me. It's the time. It's only 20 past 8. It just shows you physical exertion makes you really tired. But yeah, we have almost sold out of pocket frogs. I went in with like nearly 100 at the beginning of this season. Barely got any left. I think we have 5 or 6. They're so popular. 6. Yeah, super popular. If you need a little market make, pocket frogs are a go-to of mine. And they're so quick to whip up. And you can get quite a lot from one skein of yarn. They don't use masses of yarn. Your kids like to take your plushies. Yeah, the kids just steal them. Youngest Hal has a balloon dog that wasn't selling. Sadly, someone dropped him in the dirt. Aww. Someone dropped my large oyster in the dirt. I was fuming. So I put it through the wash because all of my plushies are washable. They've all been tested to be washable. So I put it through the wash. I was like, oh, please be okay. And then did some stain removal. And actually, you can't tell now at all. And he's gone back out on the booth. I have reduced his price a little bit because of it, but actually he looks fine. There's nothing wrong with him, and he's fresh and clean. You bought eyes from where I get them from. You haven't been able to use them because no, they're a nightmare. You need a safety eye tool to get them on. They are good eyes. They are good. They're pricey, but they are good eyes. I don't use eyes on everything, like I'm about to embroider his eyes. I like having a lot of embroidered eye options, and anything that's got a safety eye on my booth is more expensive because of that. So I do like having embroidered sort of cheaper eye options. Get the right pattern. You love the plushie I made in the back. This guy? Oh no, hang on. My right is your left, and so on and so forth. What, this little guy? This is a drift octopus by the Crochet Carpenter. And I recently came across this pattern. I've never sold this pattern before. I've got about 6 or 7 of them to take to my next event. They are so quick to whip up. They take, with distractions, probably about an hour for me to do, because I never get undistracted time or uninterrupted time. But yeah, highly recommend that pattern. He's also got 2 other sizes, and I'm doing everything in my power not to purchase the patterns. Really want to make a bigger one, because I think a bigger one would be really cute, but I don't need any more big items. I need small items. And I already have a small, like, mini octo pattern that I do anyway, which also I'm running out of, so should probably make some of those too. You're still doing that challenge, do you? But so far you got 2 out of the skein you're using for making other things. You had a tool that doesn't work on them. This is my safety eye tool. I got it on Amazon. This is the best one I have found, and I've used a lot. I don't even think it's a proper branded one. It says safety eye pliers. It's got a little bit here for 5mm. It says 5mm eyes. I don't use eyes that small. The smallest safety eye I will put in is a 12mm, purely because I've never tested smaller because it makes me uneasy. So yeah, 12mm is the smallest eye that I will put in. Otherwise, I'll embroider them. But I cannot recommend these enough. Not sponsored. General, I think they cost me about £13 or something like that. They don't break the bank. I've had them years, and I put in eyes up to the size of like 30mm. These still put those in. They've never damaged an eye. They're so good. Seriously, if you're struggling with safety eyes, this is worth the investment. The only thing I would say is I have stressed them a little bit, and I thought they'd started to crack, but I think it was just a little bit of a stress in the plastic. These are the best ones I have found. And if these broke today, I would buy another pair. Like, that's a pretty big compliment on a safety eye tool. That even if they broke, I would still buy another pair. And they get the tactile crafts eyes in really well. And give them a really good crack down. Speaking of eyes, we need to put some on this guy. I am embroidering these ones because I like these to be my sort of cheapy frogs. So yeah, keep the costs down. But I hate embroidering eyes. Hate it. I always find they all look different as well. You all have like little individual characters depending upon which ways their eyes go. Some look angry, fuming, others just look cute. When you have a similar but wasn't strong enough. Hello, you're back. 8 and 10 fall out a lot, and you only use 12. I've never tried 8s and 10s. It freaks me out, the thought that they could fall out. I've never even bothered testing them. I've only ever tested size 12, size 16s, size 16 and up. I've never done 14 for some reason. I think because a specific pattern required a size 16 and a size 18. That's why I've ended up testing those. But I like big eyes. And I've recently purchased, I can't remember what the size was. I think they're like 25 mil eyes from Tactile Crafts that I've not used before. So that I still haven't tested those. Because I haven't made a plushie that I put them in. I was thinking of putting them in these guys. Because the eyes on them freak me out a little bit. But then I'll have to raise the price just ever so slightly, and I've never even sold them before. So I want to see if they sell at the price that I'm asking. And if they sell really well, then I might test them with some eyes. And we'll see. Mainly bought them for a zebra that I was making, but then I embroidered the eyes on him anyway and tested him with embroidered eyes. So I learned a new way to embroider eyes with him, though. That was kind of handy. Welcome back. Yeah, I do too. You're a safety eye person. Loving the ones that you've been painting yourself. See, I can only do that for personal use. Unless I go through all the process, I can't use like hand painted safety eyes, which makes me really sad. One of the things that makes me wish I sold in America. They don't care if you paint your own. And most of the stuff is safe. But unless you can prove it, you can't sell it in the UK. And I can't prove it. So you too. Listening to you and watching Harry Potter. Oh, which Harry Potter? As much as I am not a J.K. Rowling fan, I love Harry Potter. Love it. You're new here. How am I? I'm okay, actually. Thank you. How are you? Welcome to the channel. We are currently crocheting plushies, and we've moved on from blanket yarn onto chenille yarn. You know, you'd send me some too. I know, and I would try them. I would love to try different glitter eyes. Maybe if I made things for myself. But I don't tend to make many things for myself. The one thing I want to make for myself is a cardigan for winter. And I've got yarn. I've specifically bought yarn for a cardigan I want to make. I started it last year and never got past the first sleeve. So maybe this year, we'll see. I'd love to make something for myself. Number 3, Prisoner of Azkaban. Very good film. Very, very good film. I have to say the last book is my favourite. But the last films don't tie up enough loose ends for me. It has to be the book. So I dislike JKR, but love Harry Potter. This is the problem. You can dislike the person, but actually you can't dispute that the work is very, very good. Just a shame that that's what she's decided to do with all of her influence. But anyway, we're not going to talk politics. We praise good work. I've just finished a game. What game? Good evening from Finland. The only words I know in Finnish, which might be Swedish actually, because the friend I learned it from was half Finnish, half Swedish, was skop and kylskåp, which, as I understand it, is cupboard and fridge. That's all of it I've got, and I think it's Swedish, to be honest. You recently found my channel. YouTube suggested me. I love it. I've been enjoying it. It'd be interesting to hear about the UK testing requirements, just out of curiosity. They're a pain in the bum. They are a pain, but you get used to them. You basically have to throw things, try and damage things, stick wooden spoons in things, tear things apart with clamps, burn things. Yeah. You basically abuse your plushies and hope that they turn out okay in the end. Is what you do for the testing. It's heartbreaking. But you get used to it. And eventually, well, once you've tested it, it's tested. As long as you do it the same way every time. And I don't tend to change what I do much. Ever, really. I make the changes before I test it. And then once I've decided how I like to do something, then I test it. And as I've gotten more experienced, I change them as I go along. So when I'll read a pattern, I'll be like, I'm not doing it that way. I'll do it my way. And then, yeah, pretty much. What yarn am I using for my cardigan? It is a Yarn Smiths. Now, I bought them when they were on sale last year. They're donuts. I bought about 10 of them. It's a really lovely colour, and it's a very autumnal colour. But I can't remember the brand. I know it's Yarn Smiths, but I can't remember what wool it is. But it's an acrylic yarn, and I do want to make myself a cardigan. And I've got the pattern as well that I want. I bought the pattern. I've still got it. I just need to make it. It's just a bit more intricate than I'm used to. And it's getting the time, to be honest. I kind of want to do it on a holiday. So we have a holiday coming up at the end of September. But it is to Butlins, which is exhausting. But I might try and find some time to make myself a cardigan, because I would like a nice cardigan for winter. I've still got the same 2 cardigans I've been using for the last 6 or 7 years, and they're holey and ragged and gross, to be honest. I need to treat myself to a new cardigan. But yeah. Right. First Froggo. You can go in the finished section. Now, the question is, can I get another one out of this? Because I don't have any more of this colour. Don't even know what colour this is. Because this is a colour I've been trying to get out of my stash because I don't use it as much. And I've just been using up the last balls I've had on frogs. Just realised you counted your stitches wrong and a few rows back, and no, you need to frog them. Frog them? Sorry, bad joke. Directive 8020, it's horror game in space. Never heard of it. I'm not very good with computer games. I am a Theme Hospital, Minecraft, Snake, Minesweeper kind of game person. I also love a board game, not gonna lie. You're scared to make anything like a shirt and clothing because it will take forever, and you mostly do amigurumi. Sorry, you can't spell. I understood every word. Don't worry about that. But the thing is, you hate the ghost black, whatever it's called. We talk about Harry Potter. Your father-in-law, it's okay. Watching a day surgery program. Those were in Swedish. See, I remember it from 20 years ago when I learned those 2 words. Still remember it, and I don't know why. It's like I know that the Welsh word for microwave is poppity ping. Did you know that? Poppity ping. It's a fantastic word. You get the safety eye side of testing. It sounds all things any 5-year-old might come up with. Yeah. I kind of looked into it a lot when I had a baby, and like what toys were safe. But actually, safety eyes, so long as they've been through the testing, are safe for newborns. If they're put in correctly and you've tested them, then everything I have is safe from 0 onwards. So I can say that there's no restrictions on who buys my toys, which is really nice. But the thing is, though, kids don't read labels. So even if an adult buys the toy for them and they've got kids, that kid will still get hold of that toy. Like, I have soft toys that I have lost to my children. It's just a fact of being a parent. Nothing's yours anymore. So I know that if a child gets hold of things, we're good. We're good. Decent game, but nothing will top Until Dawn. Oh, now we're talking things that I have no idea what we're talking about. You're done with the granny square. It's getting too heavy and you feel your neck knotting up doing it. You should do some exercises. Shameless plug. What about doing Kevin the Carrot for Christmas? Kevin the Carrot. I do not know Kevin the Carrot. I'm going to have to look that up. You like to play different games. Started knitting a cardie beginning of the year. And after you finished the back, you realised the wool was wrong for the pattern. I think the wool will be okay, but if it's not, well, I'll find that out. I love the wool. I love the colours. You play a lot of games too. I never really got into video games. Nice. 3. What board games do I like? Oh, Catan, Ticket to Ride. I've never played Splendor. I've never played Acquire. I like Machikoro, the London game. We've got a lot of Ticket to Ride expansions. What about Carcassonne? Carcassonne's a fantastic game. Loads of expansions of that. Why do I have to test my plushies? Unfortunately, it's UK law that I have to test them. Yes, the law in the UK, all toys and products actually have to be UKCA tested. And there's various compliance documents that you have to follow. One specifically for soft toys and another that I use specifically for the crochet kits. Although it doesn't really apply to my crochet kits because my kits are designed for like older teenagers and adults. But I have tested them because I do get some preteens buying them, which is quite cute. I really like getting younger kids into crochet. You hate the black ghost from Harry Potter. Just freak. You're not good with ghosts. There's rules. There's rules in the UK around plushies. The Dementors. Aldi Kevin Carrot. I have to look that one up. Chess. I'm terrible at chess. I dated a chess champion once. It was an interesting relationship. I was rubbish. I never got past the first maneuver. Love the colour of the wool, so we'll pull back out and restart it at some point. It's colour called Peacock. Oh, Peacock. I'm imagining like a tealy, bluey, turquoisey kind of colour. Yeah, if you and your husband were playing Harry Potter scene in the other night, skip this card game. Yeah, I was always a nature person, but do some games. I think it's just purely because I was never allowed a PlayStation or anything as a kid, and I grew up in the time when it wasn't in every household. And then I just never really got into games. I do play some. And we will probably, I mean, I've got young kids and one of them's a boy. So we will probably end up having all sorts of games in our house at some point in the future. How long will it take me? Will it take me to go through? I started. How long will it take me to go through the you have started and it back on the shelves for another time? Can you ask that question again? Because I don't understand, Sharon. Sorry. Bluey, as a physician, have I seen children harmed by untested products? No. No, I have not. But I also don't see many children. I am predominantly an adult physician. I do treat kids, but they're not the majority of my workload. And they'll usually go to minor injuries. And to be honest, I think it's probably like safety eyes and small parts that are going to be the main issues and choking hazards. But no, I've never seen it. Unfortunately, it's still the law, and there's nothing I can do about changing that. You're okay at chess. I'm terrible at chess. Hello. Hi, is it Rusty Art? I never learned chess, but I learned checkers. I never played checkers, but is that drafts? Is checkers different to drafts? Because I play drafts, and I'm rubbish at that too. You just came back from some yarn shopping. What yarn did you get? Please share. We love yarn here. You found some on clearance. Even better. Oh, you're going to sleep. Night, Smiley. You got to go to Institute tomorrow. Sharon, wool. How long will it take you to go through the wool you've started and back on the shelves for another time? Oh, God knows. Depends on what I feel like at the time. Because I've also set up my little station here. I've got a 2x2 Kallax unit now, all with cubes. I've got whips in one box. I've got scrap yarn in another. I've got tools and things in another. And I've got yarn that I'm sort of in and out in another. And it's so handy. And it's not changed what's sitting on, but it's less. And I know where everything is. And I like the fact that I know where all my scrap yarn is now. Because, yeah, all my scrap chenille yarn is there. And I just pull it out to use it and try and use it up, which is great. Really do need to do some form of video about using up my scrap yarn. I just never quite got around to it. I think we're going to lose the yarn chicken. You know what that means? We need to buy more of this colour. I'm trying to use it up, but I can't stand having an unfinished plushie. On your second ever game of chess, you pin your dad in checkmate. Good for you. It took me ages to beat my dad. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll share the yarn haul on the community tab. We like yarn hauls here. You're on a yarn buying ban for August. Oh, good luck. It's only day 2. I have learned not to put myself on a yarn buying ban because it is pointless. I am not buying yarn I don't need at the moment. And need is a very strong word because arguably I could need anything. Could need anything. I've spent, I try not to do more than 1 yarn purchase a month is my goal. Yeah, we're losing. We're losing. Oh. Lost. I lost to yarn chicken. This frog only has 2 legs. Sorry, dude. You are in the whip pile. Not bad for... Sorry, when I move one way, it moves the other way on the camera. Okay. Not bad for a live. We've got 2 finished products and a whole bunch of whips. Got some more green. Got the screen. Try some frogs. Need some frogs. Oh God, I'm behind in the chat. Sorry. To scroll back up. Right. Yeah, yarn buying ban for me, no point. Just Rusty. You're going to make so many hats. Excellent. You don't really know what that is. Lucky you have a cart full of yarn right now. You're just trying to convince the hubby you can get it. See, this is the beauty of working for your wife but not getting paid, but getting paid in fun yarn. She very rarely says no. She really wants to be spoken to if it goes over 3 figures, which I think is fair. And very rarely does it not go over 3 figures because I tend to just buy all my yarn at once, unless we're in a shop and then I buy something to try. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I need a new stitch marker. That's the problem with whips. Your stitch markers get stuck in them. Do you have any good yarn recommendations? Right now you're just using the ones from either Bernat or Loops and Threads. See, I feel if you're using Loops and Threads, you're probably in America and you have so much yarn choice. I am so jealous. I would personally like to try all of the Hobby Lobby yarns because they have their own brand, I believe, Yarn Bee, and I'd be curious to see what they're like. Yeah, I also have never tried things like Sweet Snuggles, Premier Yarns, and I suppose it depends upon the project as to what yarn to recommend. But yeah. Oh, good night. Yarn recommendations. You need some too. Plus, how many items could be made with scrap yarn? Loads. I have loads. Ever since doing the crochet kits as well, I've got loads of scrap yarn because I never get rid of any of it. If it's not good enough or it's got factory knots in it or something, I don't put it in the kits and I keep it for myself because I'll just cut the factory knots out. And I work around them. And I work around all the imperfections and things as well. But I wouldn't expect a customer or a beginner to have to do that. Like, that's not fair. So I end up with loads of scrap yarn. Big chunks of it sometimes as well. You went to the secret yarn sale at a factory in Leicester yesterday. There was a secret yarn sale and no one told me. There's a wholesale factory that opens to the general public every now and again. I need to find out where this is. Lucy, can you please Instagram me or message me the details and I will keep an eye out because that sounds like fun and a reason to travel to Leicester. Just make him bottom bit darker green. I can't do two-tone frogs. I can't do it. Can't do it. You have to just buy more yarn. I know that one skein of this chenille yarn makes me 12.5 frogs. 12.5 pocket frogs, roughly. Because I tested it once. The frog's looking so adorable. These guys are so cute. They just disappear. I can't two-tone it. I can't do it. It doesn't work in my brain. Frog the back and do the bottom rows, that darker green I'm using. Someone will love him because he's different. I know, but I can't do it. In my head, it just... I'm not that person. Like, that just doesn't do it for me at all. Yeah, doesn't do it. I can't do it. Where's the community tab? I think it's on the YouTube page. I have opened up the community and it is, you can post on it now. Again, I'm not great with social media and I'm technologically challenged. So it took me a little while to figure that one out. But yeah, if not, have a look on Instagram, the Crochet Doctor, send it to me there and I can see if I can post it. Earlier in the month, you got yourself some chenille in hot pink, cyan, and sorbet orange to make jumping spiders. Jumping spiders. They're probably very cute, but it's like my worst nightmare. I really don't like spiders to the point where I will not crochet them. Just can't do it. Can't do it. I don't like spiders. I know they're really popular in crochet world, especially around Halloween, but I can't do it. You have some sweet snuggles and parfait set aside for me. Oh, cannot wait. Very, very exciting. I am, I've already said to my other half when we eventually get a chance to go to America, we're visiting all the yarn stores. She wants to go to Walmart. And to be honest, I want to go to Walmart too. That sounds great. But we need to visit the yarn stores. Very important. I think I'm going to bring a suitcase full of yarn back with me. But yeah, I've never been to America. Never been. And probably won't go for a very long time. But we'll see. Yeah, finished 2 chunky dinos. Congrats. You're so productive today. Usually distracted like every 10 seconds. Well, I'm glad we could distract you less or keep you motivated. Let's just say that. You want to try the parfait plush because you love parfait chunky, but you'd love a bit thicker. I love thicker yarn until the point where I tried a really thick yarn and it ended up being like a really stiff project in the end. So I've gone back to smaller than that. Or maybe it was just that yarn that I didn't get on well with. We'll see. My tension is so tight though, that's the problem. And I was using a hook far smaller than recommended. But I didn't like gaps in my project. Have I tried the range? Yes, I love the range. I recently bought some yarn that you'll see in one of my next videos in the range to make one of the bags. Hint, it turned out really good. And I loved it. to the point where I want to go back and buy some in different colors. Also, there is some chunky yarn in the range that I could make a blanket with, actually. But again, I'd have to buy loads to make anything big enough to go behind me. Yay, you're on the community tab now. Fabulous. Want to try the parfait blush? I've missed things. Hang on. So sorry. You're all bugs and animals, except wasps. Heck, wasps. I'm sure wasps have some positivity in the world. I know they do something, but I don't know what it is they do. I'm sorry, Tiana. If you're going to America, they also sell yarn in the Walmarts. Yep, I have heard that. There's a whole list of places I want to look at yarn in America. I will have to do some sightseeing as well. But yeah, we were supposed to go. So our honeymoon was supposed to be, we were road tripping around California. But we were a 2020 wedding. And bang smack in the middle of August was the lockdown. So never happened, unfortunately. We still haven't had our honeymoon. But, you know, when we're old, we will. When we're older and the kids are grown up, we can go and have our honeymoon and go camping around California. That was the plan. Still want to do our road trip. But add some yarn stores in. I didn't crochet at that point, so wasn't big into yarn. Now we'll have to change things slightly. 4. You want to use blanket yarn, plush yarn, because you've never used. Oh, you should try it. It's great fun. It's very different to cotton and acrylic and things like that. But I use all sorts now, and you'll find the ones you like the best. Parfait yarns is amazing to work with. I have heard really good things. Your other yarn you'd love to try is Zaddy Crafts yarn. You're scared? Yeah, I looked at the shipping. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, but I was picturing catastrophic postage costs. So read into that what you may. Easy project to start on amigurumis. Try a bee or an octopus. My first ever plushie was a chunky dino. It is terrible, and I still have it, and I love it. And my second project was a bee. Much easier, learned a lot. So yeah, I'd recommend a bee or a little octo or something like that. Something small. I mean, even like a little pocket frog. I have the pocket frog tutorial on my channel. Check it out. It's a really good tutorial for beginners because it teaches you the basic sticks. I can't talk now. Teaches you the basic stitches you need for amigurumi. So yeah, it's a good one. I like it. But then I would say that, wouldn't I? Factory doesn't have a web page. Hang on. M&A. I'm going to have to go back into this. M&A Stationers. And they have a Facebook page where they advertise the sale. Let's introduce the chenille yarn. Like it. Any hook recommendations? So hooks wise, I would always say an ergonomic hook. And a lot of people have their preferences as to what they like. So whatever you feel is comfortable. I use Clover and Moore hooks, and I've never gone back. These are expensive though. I held off on these for a very long time. And then one day I just treated myself to one in a size 5 because it's my most commonly used size. And I loved it so much, I literally can't use any other hooks anymore. Yeah. And the hooks I use the most, so the 6.5 and the 5, I've got like 3 of each because they end up in different projects and various things. But yeah, I love a Clover hook. But they are the expensive ones, unfortunately. Yeah. Octos and ducks are good starters. Very, very good starters. Size 5 if it's in chenille yarn. Hands down. Look at what it recommends, but I always use a 5. No, I wanted to see Joanne's, but yeah, unfortunately, in the financial climate, they did not survive, which is a shame. Just came back from Walmart for your yarn shopping. They have decent Walmart brand, a decent price, but the availability varies. I am sorry, Tiana. I'm a lot closer than you are to Australia. It depends on which way around the world you go. Because actually, if you go backwards, you're closer. Because we are literally the opposite side of the world to Australia in England. Takes us 24 hours to get there. You lose an entire day just on a plane, but it was worth it. I loved Australia. Fantastic country. There we go. And you know what? I've said to my wife, if we go to Australia again, which we will eventually, while I'm there, I'm going to do a Zaddy Crafts order, just so I can try the yarn and get it shipped to my hotel. Just in a preempt of me getting there. What kind of yarn is this? This yarn is chenille. It's Yarn Smith's chenille chunky that I use from Wool Warehouse. And I love it. It sheds like crazy. It's a pain in the bum, but it is a good yarn. There's your cat. Even brand name yarns are cheaper in Walmart than Michael's, so you'll always shop there. Always go cheaper if you can. That's my rule of thumb. Where is my washing machine? Currently, I don't have one because our kitchen is being refurbished. So we are using the grandparents' washing machines. Not sure about that question. You finally figured out why things you crochet keep looking deformed. You switched hook sizes even though it wasn't the recommended hook size. Yeah, you'll get to know as you crochet more, you'll get to know what hook sizes to use for what yarn and what you can get away with, because hook size is also very dependent on tension and how you crochet and what you like to do and how you like your things to look. So it just comes with time. Believe me, I have made many deformed plushies in my time. Yeah, and I've made many, many mistakes. I just don't advertise them. Hi, you sometimes use smaller than the recommended hook size. I do too. My tension is incredibly tight, and I should probably go bigger, but I don't like holes in my plushies. So if I get any hint that it's going to be a bit gappy, I go smaller. You love my videos. Thank you very much. Use cheap hooks. I used cheap hooks for years. There was nothing wrong with them. And the problem is I tried an expensive one and now I can't go back. Oh, you've said the same. You can't go back either. Yeah, always go off what you think. Most yarns don't account for what the yarn is being used for. Exactly. So it just takes a little bit of trial and error. You did a teapot cozy in junior school and you still have it. Oh, that's really cute. I have kept my original plushie, first one I made. But I've never made that pattern since. Here it is. You like the market? Brilliant. I'm pleased. Clover hooks are the best ones. Yeah, I really like them. All right, we're nearly finished this little froggo, and I think we're going to make him our last project because I'm getting hungry. Let's crochet up his bum. Does my wife crochet? No, she does not. She has lupus and her hands don't work very well, unfortunately. Plus, she doesn't have the attention span to the crochet needs. She wanted to try out one of my kits, but she can't really hold the hook properly. There's some shots on Etsy that make... Yeah, I've seen clover-looking hooks. And there's also hooks and glitter. So she uses clover hooks with resin to make clover hooks look prettier. But She does it in drops and I never in time. And I'm very picky on what I would want in a clover hook, in my hooks, I think. I wouldn't just want anything. So it doesn't quite work for me if I'm going to spend that amount of money on something. You do have an ergonomic set from Amazon and they haven't failed you. So the problem with the ergonomic sets, I use my crochet hooks a lot and I tended to break them. And I found that they got loose, whereas clover hooks, I've only ever broken one clover hook and it just snapped. In fact, I did a short about it because it surprised me so much. I managed to snap a hook with my tight tension. That was a first for me. That's the only clover hook that's ever broken on me. You're pretty gentle on your hands. That's all you can ask for. What is everybody crocheting? Brad asks. Americans keep their upstairs. We keep yours downstairs. Kitchens. Oh, is this the washing machine? Brilliant. You're working on your forever blanket. Easy, no brain work. The pocket frogs are a bit like that for me. I've made so many. They are just a no think, no count, no worry project. It's like Crayola crayons. They would be cute. Froggo! Right, here's our final project. Hang on, this side. We've been quite productive in this live. So we've got finished the octopus, 2 pocket frogs, and a whole bunch of whips. Right, I am going to say thank you everybody for joining. I've had a lovely little chat. Really good couple of hours. I hope everybody's gotten some of their work done. And I don't know if I'll be able to go live next Sunday because of the market, but I might try and go live in the week at some point. I've got loads of crocheting to do and I need the company. But until then, I hope everybody has a great week and keep crocheting. Bye, guys.